Find it on YouTube.
Yes. This is just domestic because unfortunately there's no foreign tonight. So it is on the Allenby Pro channel. Yep. Sorry, everybody that was looking for the Scotsman. He is still having technical difficulties, and the powers that be just are not cooperating with him on getting his computer and so forth rolling. So yes, welcome to Just Domestic tonight. So far, getting a couple of the staples, couple of the few that we had seen before. Um, G23 out there and Gunpowder Beauty here in the room. Kingpin and AR Guns were early on, but I'm gonna go ahead and start off kind of in an old fashion if I can get my ducks in a row. Goodness gracious. I wasn't even prepared and I'm the one that clicked the button. So with that said,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
all right. Excellent to get going here. I know it's been a week. Gun Hobo 62, Richard Marauder, Chris 338, Garage Guy 879. Again, I mentioned G was out there. So let's just see what happens. Probably won't roll a whole 2 hours tonight, folks. If that disappoints you, then you're just like my girlfriend. I disappoint her every time. Professional amateur, how the heck are you doing, sir?
Better than I deserve, to be honest. Then shooting match today. Did pretty good. I had a little gun trouble on the last stage. Fighting the town, getting the permits for the next project, and smokeless powder doesn't explode. It just burns.
Good. Gunpowder Beauty, a member of the Mug Club, I can see. How you doing there, lady, other than growing in width?
Well, me and Texas are going to be in a tie pretty soon on how big we can get before, the end of time. Other than that, I'm doing pretty good. And hashtag not sponsored, but could be. Call me Crowder. Call me.
Yeah, I have to admit something to you. I'm praying for a closer to about a 10.2. That way you learn your lesson this time. Daniel, God is my judge. How are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. And smokeless powder doesn't explode? Really? Fantastic. I wonder how these go boom then. So, yeah. Hi, Jamie and Gunpowder Beauty. Long time no see. Val, hello. And Alan, thanks for putting me on tonight. And I have some training aids if anybody later on, if this argument does continue.
All right. The I'm sorry, that is just the bearded wealth of knowledge. Jamie, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm like Val, man. I'm better than I deserve. Thanks for having me. Thanks for throwing me a link. I want to thank y'all in advance for putting up with me tonight. Y'all are all a blessing. I love hanging out with you on Sunday nights. But what have you done, Daniel? You got a little trim up there, man?
A trim? Where?
I see chin, man. I see chin.
Wait a minute, you see me like this when I was down there. The chin was all clean and just had the mutton chops going.
Yeah, but man, I've been to sleep since then, so anyway, never mind.
It's all right. I know the same feeling.
I think that's going to be an interesting discussion. Do I need to get into it? Y'all going to bring it up, or Alan, you going to talk about it?
No, go ahead. Fire off, sir.
There was a house that blew up in Florida, and they said that it was because the man was reloading at the time, and his gunpowder and primers caused several explosions. We have disagreement on the panel. Hey, AR Guns, what's up, buddy? Bald and Curious is of the opinion, Professional Amateur is of the opinion that smokeless powder don't blow up. Daniel God is my judge is of the opinion that it has to, or none of our loaded cases would actually go down range. So let the battle begin. I can see both sides of the point. When you lay out gunpowder, if you was to pour some out and light it, it just it flares up, but it does not explode, and it's not really smokeless. But I think what causes it to go boom in our guns is the that gas that's produced when that is burning. The pressure blows up and starts pushing the projectile down the barrel and toward its intended target.
That's exactly the case. That's why every reloading manual lists the pressures, maximum pressures, and all that, and you can test it yourself. I'm talking about a smokeless powder, not a black powder. It just burns at different rates. That's why you got different burning rates, different powders for rifle, for shotgun, for pistol, because it burns at different rates. And you can light a 5-gallon bucket of smokeless powder, and all it's gonna be a big ass flash. It's not gonna be an explosion. If you put a lid on it, the gases might push the lid up, but it's not gonna level the house. Nobody said what kind of powder the guy had. So, I mean, the chances are you get a freaking 5-gallon bucket of black powder. That'll definitely do the trick.
Please don't light a 5-gallon bucket of powder.
Yeah, a 5-gallon bucket of powder will flare like just the same as smokeless powder. Smokeless powder just does a whole lot of better job of burning. You take your bullet. What make it go boom? Your container, in the bullet, it's brass. Your ignition source, primer, source of fire. The cap on the bullet, the cartridge, is your bullet, and then crimp. And that controls the burn rate inside and your pressure and everything. It's the pressure that makes it go boom. What I stated was restriction of the gases will cause the boom. And that's what makes a bullet go boom.
Restrictions of the gases don't cause boom.
Restriction of the gases, because if you did not have a bullet on the end of this, when you pop the primer off, the ignition source, it's just going to throw some flame out the end.
Exactly. So where's your explosion?
Now, okay. That's just, it just burns. You don't get the high pressure explosion. Your powder drop tube. Powder comes out down here. This is not airtight. And as you're loading, you're creating a lot of powder dust, not just in here, but down below it. A cap on these should be loose. Okay? If you use the wrong cap and put that on your powder drop, that's going to restrict the expansion of gases. It's going to cause to go boom. And just a little bit will do that. Your powder drop, if you use the wrong cap on it, it's a ready-made pipe bomb. and you can get in a lot of smokeless powder that you can get in here can make a very significant boom, which can blow half your house up.
Well,
It doesn't take that
You're gonna have
much.
to do it on the video. I don't believe you. That just doesn't make sense.
No, I'm not going to put something on video that's going to make me a felon and have it out there, because it is illegal to make pipe bombs. I'm just saying, if you're a reloader, don't use a cap on your drop that fits down tight. If the case there is an accident, heaven forbid, a fire starts, that you don't have something that's going to blow up right there on your bench.
It still wouldn't blow up. It'll just push the cap off and just burn really, really fast. It's not that tight. Dillons are fairly tight actually, and they have a hole in the middle.
Kent, do you have access to smoke bombs out here
What?
in a free state? Smoke bombs.
Yeah, but smoke.
Yeah.
That's
Dude, okay, no.
We're not talking
let
about
me-
smoke
let
bombs.
me
We're
make
talking
my-
about
Let me make my
reloading
point.
equipment.
My point. We're talking about powder. This powder, any kind of ignition, black powder, it'll both do the same. If you take a smoke bomb, drop it into a jar as the fuse is burning, and put the lid on it, it's going to explode. If you take a Roman candle, hit the end of it where the flare, the ball of fire goes out, you hit the end of it with a hammer or crimp it, the Roman candle will blow up like a stick of dynamite.
Still,
You can take you can that, and that isn't very tight. The restriction of the powder is going to cause an explosion.
yes,
I
but
know this.
Not first of all, Roman candle is not smokeless powder. That's one. There's a lot more chemicals in it. That's for one. It's a lot more. What's the word? A lot more explosive.
Volatile.
So if this guy only had the smokeless powder, there's no fucking way that his house blew up. I don't care what he did, unless
It blew
literally the house blew up. It almost leveled the house. What are we talking about?
So let's say like a 1 gallon paint can. So you end up cleaning out and reusing a paint can to store your powder in, thinking, hey, this will keep moisture out. Now, somehow, if that got ignited with the lid on the paint can, there's going to be a certain amount of pressure develop inside that paint can before it either blows the lid or pops the side of the can.
You put powder in a paint can and put it in a burn barrel that's on fire, and you better be running, because within a minute that burn barrel is going to be feathered like a shotgun, the end of a shotgun, because it's going to blow up. You better get 100 yards or more away.
Yeah, I don't think so. If you look up the video on the semi-spec on the ammo, where they actually lit a big ass pile of ammo on fire, and it just little pop, just like when we threw 50 BMG in the fire at Farmageddon and all the other shit, and all that was fairly uneventful. So no.
Sometimes they fizzle, but that's not the rule. You put a 45-70 in a burn barrel,
yeah,
you're going to have one heck of a loud explosion. So I can't read what Razor's written here.
Yeah, not a chance. Been done over and over. In the heat and burning rate of the powder will melt a bucket or any other container unless sealed metal, and not always. Then 6 pounds won't drop a house like that.
Yes. Thank you, Razor. Thank you. We're done with this topic. We're done. You lost.
No. Okay. I've got the scars of a long misspent youth to prove. I've done it. There's teenagers right now that launch lawnmowers into the neighbor's yard.
Not with a smokeless powder.
Smokeless powder. Smokeless powder is what we use in all modern firearms.
Exactly.
It burns.
That's it. It doesn't
It creates
explode.
it
burns.
creates it doesn't explode. The pressure increases so fast. That's what an explosion is. It is the increase of pressure that is retained and restricted until the top comes off. But fortunately, with a gun, we can control where the gases do escape to.
That's not true. But then, if that's the explosion, what does the plastic explosive do? Where's the resistance? Where's the pressure over there?
Same thing with ammo. C4, you take it out of a claymore. You can take a lighter to it, and you can boil water. You can cook with it, but you put it in a case, a metal case that restricts it. It goes boom.
That's not true. The C4 just you can't light it on fire. It won't burn. It's basically natural glycerin. It needs something to go boom. It'll go boom even outside the freaking.
The plastic in claymore has been taken out and used to boil water and make coffee. Even in Vietnam they were doing it.
Yes, you can burn it. It'll burn.
You just said it wouldn't burn.
No, I said it'll burn. It needs what's the word? It needs the thing to detonate. Come on, Razor, help me out.
Well, nevertheless, 6 pounds. Even if it was in a metal container, everything. Do you really think 6 pounds of powder is gonna take down a house?
No.
6 pounds is all he had in the house, and
At least that's what I got out of the report.
Yeah, they said 6 pounds on there. And there was no fire damage. It was just that's how they put out gas well fires, such as use an explosion. They use dynamite, TNT for an explosion. So that's all the evidence. They had investigators there at that house and investigated the scene. If there was some type of bomb being created there, the evidence would have been right there. But the only evidence there that was there is what they found, and it was straight a reloading accident.
No, they said it was a straight reloading accident.
y'all know what concerns me more than powder catching on fire or anything like that is
The loss of said powder or primers?
what concerns me more than that would be these presses that use tubes with primers full of them. If one goes off, you got a problem. Think about it.
Yeah, but the way you have them in the tube, at least like in a Dylan press, they basically have a tube is over here, but this is where it goes into the case. So I actually had an instance where there was something and I pushed too hard and it popped the primer. It exploded in the press. It scares the shit out of me, and that's one of the reasons that from the day one when I reload, I wear safety glasses. But it's highly unlikely that you would have something in the tube that would make it. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's really unlikely, at least in like a Dylan presses. So, it's
well,
really
any
not
press,
that bad.
any press. That's why you want to have your work area clean and make sure all that powder that gets around it is cleaned out. If a primer goes off and sets that loose powder around your press on fire, whether it flares up or it goes boom, you're gonna have a bad day.
That's okay. That's why you pay homeowners insurance.
Yeah, I don't think 6 pounds of powder could do the damage I saw in that video. I mean, at the clip at the end, the thing is burnt, slapped to the ground, man. I mean, there's nothing but the foundation left.
Right. The photos I seen just showed the busted boards and the roof was collapsed. It showed the 2x4s. It didn't show any burn.
Maybe I'm thinking of something different, but it was burnt all the way to the ground. There was like nothing left of what I saw. Maybe I'm getting something confused.
That's an example if it just flared up and burned, where you didn't have the compression, where the gas didn't explode, where the powder just lit off and lit the house up. That's what you have in that instance.
And there's a good chance he was cooking meth, in the next room, and they just tried to cover it up, so they blamed the reloading equipment. That's probably more likely.
So,
what else we're talking about?
yeah, well, maybe the guy had some major breathing problems and was over oxygenating his house. Who knows? So guns.com. Has anybody on the panel used guns.com? Crickets?
Oh,
Nope.
Never did.
Nope.
But I heard bad news about them.
People, it came out that they were going to be mandating the vaccine, that doesn't vaccinate anything, with their employees, and it was mayhem all of a sudden, and within 48 hours they turn around and say, "Oh well, we're not going to do that." I'm sorry, but companies that are mandating what you're doing with your body, that to me, if I'm working for a company that's mandating that I supposedly go out and get this vaccine, that's time for me to go get another job.
Here's a problem that's with all that, and that's the way we're heading. They're just gonna make it impossible for you. They're not gonna straight up, just like Biden said, they can't, as a government, they can't mandate for you to be vaccinated. Okay, so what's gonna happen? They're gonna throw it all on employers, and some of the employers will say, okay, you don't have to get vaccinated, but you got to get tested weekly. Now, at some point, the employer will said, okay, but we're not paying for the test. You need to pay for your own test. They're actually doing that at the grocery store down the road. So you got kids working there part-time, making $300 a week, and they will not charge them $75 a week for a test if they're not vaccinated. So it's going to get to the point that, all right, so I can't afford it, I have to get it. Or you say you go get another job, and it's going to be like this at every job. You're not going to be allowed to go to the store. You're not going to be allowed to go to venues. You're not going to be allowed to get on the airplane. So unless you're Peckerwood living somewhere in the woods or freaking Idaho, you're screwed.
Yeah, I don't know how many people that have been vaccinated that are carrying cards. I don't know if there's even a validity to vaccination cards at all. Are they gonna start putting it on driver's licenses? They're trying to make vaccination cards sound like something that's even going to be more important than carrying some type of ID that it's going to be on your ID. Sorry, but no, not for me at least.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate again. Look at it this way. Nurses had to have a flu shot for the last, 10, 15 years? And that was pretty much mandatory. And nobody questioned it twice. They had to get it. You got a number of different vaccines that you got to get, the whole point is that it's, all I'm saying, I'm not against the vaccine, but I'm not sure this is a vaccine, it qualifies as one. And whether it has I don't know, all the negative shit that people say or not, because it's kind of weird how it affects everybody different. What I'm saying, it's been around for what? Not even a year? We haven't even gone through one flu season to see what's going to happen. So that's why it kind of bothers me that it's being pushed and mandated, and they keep saying this is not about what they said. This is not about freedom. This is about your safety. Well, what's the saying? Those who what the hell is
Those
this?
that give up freedom
For the
for
temporary
safety deserve neither.
need. There you go.
When you see about half of your nurses not taking the shot, and just giving up their paycheck and having to stay home. Those are paid professionals, and they work with people no matter what the sickness is, even this. That should tell you something. Something's not right. I got my cousin right down the road.
Have I taken a flu shot? Yeah, I've taken a flu shot. It was researched for years and years and years and years. Did they say that it was a flu vaccine? No. They're like, hey, this might help prevent you from getting the flu. And if you do get it, the symptoms might not be as bad. So now that's what they're saying about this supposed vaccine. And so why it's like, no, you guys, there was so much research put into the flu shot that is not a vaccine.
I did 20 years in the Navy. I only took the flu shot twice at the beginning of my first 2 years, and I got sick, very sick both times. I went and I refused the flu shot ever since then. And the first time I did it, they put the pressure on me. This is mandatory, blah, blah, blah. You got to do it. And the flight surgeon sat me down and said, okay, it's like this. The only way they can write you up is if you refuse the shot and you get that strain of flu that this shot was made for. And it was the flu shot, and it was the flu that was out last year. The odds, and you got to miss work. So if you get sick, don't miss work. But the chances, most likely, it's going to be a different strain of flu. So you don't worry. I did 20 years. I only got the flu shot the first 2 years. And after that, never again. But that one there, they all told us it was mandated. You got to do it. But I did it. Even though they threatened being masked and captain's masked, they never even wrote me up on it.
Well, they should have worded differently. Instead of vaccine, they could have called it the COVID shot, and people might actually look at it differently. They would look at it as a flu shot. So I never had a flu shot myself. I mean, I had a flu a handful of times in my life. Then again, my kids were getting a flu shot every year.
I haven't had a flu shot in over a decade. Few times I've had the shot, I've been way more sick than the times not getting the shot. So I just don't take it.
And the medical people that I've talked to in private, they said, get the pneumonia shot, because that's what people are dying of. It's the pneumonia. The pneumonia shot will do you a lot better than this COVID.
Well, either way, it boils down to personal choice. Get whatever the hell you want. I mean, if this shot doesn't really stop you from spreading it, you're not helping. You're not doing anything. It's like. Let me put it this way: make sure everybody puts on sunglasses tomorrow to protect those without the sunglasses against the sun. That pretty much sums it up.
It's kind of like asking somebody to put their keys in their ignition so you can start your car. See, y'all are both looking at like, what? Yeah, that's how the flu or the COVID vaccine is for me. You're wanting me to get a COVID vaccine, so you who have a COVID vaccine are going to be protected. If you have it, shouldn't you already be protected?
Like, I've had COVID. I'm good for a year because I actually caught it. And the doctor said the antibodies are going to be in your system for minimum a year.
Yeah, they have no idea.
All of us are. I'm pretty sure at some point everyone in this house has caught it because we have all had every single one of the symptoms, but we've had tests that came back negative. And it's like at some point, I know we have had it. and we're still here. We're still fine.
So Ramsey, yeah, said he picked up a couple of thousand primers last week, and he's saying about $100 per thousand. I posted a picture on Instagram yesterday of some CCI BR4 primers at $131 for the 1,000.
That's the
crazy.
bench rest. That's bench rest. So that's actually a good price.
So they're still decent primers, yet even to find that one box of primers, I shit you not, went to 8 different stores, and that was the only box of small rifle primers that I could find. So my dumbass ponied up and paid for them.
That was going to be my next question. Did you buy them?
Yep, that was the only box that I could find anywhere.
Holy mother of God.
And the guy, I was like, I got a problem. I got an addiction, and you need to feed my addiction. I need some small rifle primer powder and primers. He's like, well, I got a box of primers here. I looked at it and I said, you might as well take that off the shelf. He goes, well, they're pretty pricey. I said, I don't give a fuck how much they are. The whole store, you could hear a pin drop. It just went dead silent. I'm like, I don't care how much they are. Put them on the counter.
I was just talking today with a friend at a competition, and he's an older gentleman, and there was another even older gentleman he used to shoot with us, and he hasn't shot in like last 5-6 years. So I told him, reach out to the guy, because I know these guys, last time they bought primers and powder was probably 15 years ago, and they were buying stuff by pallet. So I know he's got enough crap in a garage to level the freaking garage. So I was like, reach out to him and see if he wants to sell some. I'll let him make a decent profit. But I ain't paying. If I gotta pay $100 of primers, I'm just gonna give up shooting and just go buy store ammo, because at that point it's not even worth it. You're paying you're paying that kind of money plus powder plus work plus bullets. It's not even worth it anymore.
Steel case for around a 59 millimeter, some $20 at our local gun dealer, and CCI Blazer 9 millimeter full metal jacket, $28 for 50 rounds.
Yep.
Yeah, I was seeing white box Winchester, 100 rounds for $40.
I'd still pass just because white box Winchester.
Yeah, white box and yeah, it was $8 for 50. So $40 for 100. It's still white box Winchester. About the only thing that it's best for is the brass alone.
I'll tell you something else that aggravates me too. These stores wanting to sell you a hat. Like, if you buy $100 worth of stuff, we'll sell you a hat for $10. Bull crap, man. If I buy $100 worth of stuff from your store, you can give me a hat, and if I feel like it, I'll wear it. Okay? If I've got to wear that hat, then you're going to be paying me because I'm advertising for you.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
You go in and buy that brand new bow, and the good bows start out about $850. They better be giving you the hat that goes with the bow, but they've never given me a hat.
Last time we traded cars, I told the Toyota place, I said, you're going to give me one of those camouflage toboggans. And he's like, we are. I said, yeah, you are. And he said, well, I'll see what I can do. I said, let's go, wife. He said, wait a minute. And that's another thing. If you're fixing to buy a car, you're fixing to make a major investment, right? Don't be afraid to get up and walk out. Same at your gun store, whatever, you're negotiating price. Turn around and leave. And see, a car dealership, you're talking about a whole lot more money. They already got your phone number. 8 times out of 10, before you get back to the house, your phone's going to ring and they're going to be asking you to come back. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And if you're trading in a car, make sure you take 2 sets of keys to the car. And don't give them the keys to your house when they go out to test drive it and check it out while they got you talking to the salesman.
There you go, man.
Yeah, but that doesn't work when you buy a truck and there's a national shortage of trucks, and the used trucks are freaking double in value. So they kind of, because I tried to do the same thing when I bought my truck. It turns out it didn't have remote start, so I'm like, well, no, I gave you a full asking price. You're not gonna throw in the freaking remote start. And he goes, nope. It was the only truck they had on the lot, so it's like, nope. You either take it or you don't. But they did wind up giving me like a 10 to 20% off or something, and ordering one for me. But it's like, he ain't gonna be here till December. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Edward Petty, small pistol Magnum primers. Gonna use them for 9mm comments.
No problem. I use them all the time.
Good to go.
I would just say test them at the minimum charge and then work up.
Yeah, depending on the powder, you might want to drop it, but I didn't find any difference between a small pistol and small pistol Magnum. And I've been using Magnum for the last maybe 20,000 rounds. Never had single issue.
Yeah, I would echo that. If you're already throwing it at high powder out, dial that back just a little bit. Other than that, you're good. Start on the low side and build up if you need to.
Yeah, I really think the actual Magnum powders is just probably a little more reliable ignition. That's it. I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between them.
They're just throwing a little bit of extra fire in there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Val's got a good point there. Some powders need that extra little kick in the pants, particularly ball powders. On a cold morning, yeah, you'll need that little extra kick in the pants.
And don't be.
Need a little extra scoop in your coffee pot to get going in the morning. So yeah.
And don't be afraid to use a rifle primers in a pistol. Not vice versa. Rifle and a pistol is good as long as you got a gun with a strong hammer spring and all that, because the cup is actually thicker on the rifle primers. But most of the guns will be just fine.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because I got my one gun back from CZ Customs, and it's now got a lighter hammer spring on it. So it only shoots good if you use something that's got a soft primer, and the rifle won't work on it.
You can go ahead and replace the hammer spring back on. It won't really change the trigger pull that much, because it was the same thing back when I was shooting CZs 6-7 years ago, when I had the first what was it called, Target Shadow or whatever the hell it was, the first one. And they actually came with a 2 different set of springs, and I wound up putting the heavier on just for reliability, and didn't really feel like trigger pull was affected significantly.
Now, single action, it wouldn't. The double action, would it?
Because, for example, a lot of open guys, even a lot of limited guys, would actually use small rifle primers in their guns, and you're talking sub 2-pound triggers.
So they're definitely using the original hammer spring. Nice, good, heavy hammer springs in.
Hey, Josh Benware, that guy is still alive. I haven't heard from him in ages.
Yeah, and oddly enough, he looks exactly the same. I think he's got part vampire in him or something. He just he looks exactly the same.
Oh, you think like he doesn't age?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. He doesn't age.
he's
It's
still a
weird.
kid.
It's weird.
That's crazy, Miss Kitty, but that's the times we live in. Everything is going sky high in price, and it's because the government's printing money, just giving it away.
Print money and bad policy. Let's
That's why
destroy the jobs here. No more pipeline here, but let's buy Russia's and OPEC's oil.
that's why the house market is doing good. Everybody that has some money wants to invest it in something. They don't want to hold it in the bank. I literally had a friend of mine sell the house, same house as I sold, the last house I sold, the raised range. So I sold mine for 4.25. House appraised about 4.75, and I'm in different area. I can see it going for maybe 5. He got 600, and I'm like, how? The house wouldn't appraise that much. He goes, there was no appraisal. It was all cash offer. People came in, offered me money. I gave them the house.
Man, that's yeah. My daughter is. Well, y'all seen Rigby in here. Her mom, my daughter Amanda. They're starting at looking to buy a house and get out of the renting market. And, I can understand that, but it's a tough time to be doing stuff like that right now. I keep thinking if they wait a year or so, things will be better. But like I said earlier, man, I don't think 2019 is coming back, guys. I just don't.
No, it's not. Red's got a good question here. Who's paying all those cargo ships to stay at bay?
It's a good question. 25,000 containers sitting in the various ports.
It's been like that with the U.S. for a little while. With what I do for a living, I've been dealing with the congestion issues at our ports and rail yards for an extended period of time, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. If not, it's getting worse, to the extent that even ports all over the globe are starting to get the same effect. They've got ports in Japan, ports in China that are starting to look like the ports here at the U.S.
You think that's caused by not enough labor at the port to be able to unload those ships?
What it boils down to, I'm not sure, but that is definitely a factor. The labor forces is positively a factor, because those things were always running at stupid capacity anyway, by far more than what these ports are designed to run at. But if you drop 20% of your labor force that just is out ill, yeah, it piles up quick. But it's not just happening in the US now. It's starting to happen all over the globe, where ships are having problems getting in and out of ports everywhere.
Well, from what I've heard, what I'm understanding, and y'all tell me, y'all would know more about it than I would. The problem is trucks. There's not enough trucks and truck drivers to get the stuff off of the docks once they dock and unload.
Part of it has a little bit to do with that, but there's a complication for trucks, because they're mandating that those trucks come in with empty containers, and they're only allowing a certain amount of trucks to come into the port. They're dictating the times that they can come into the port, and that can change at a moment's notice. I mean, you're literally in line to get in the port, and they're like, nope, we're done. Come back tomorrow. And it's the same thing is happening at rail yards, where a lot of times we wouldn't ship empty containers back to the port. We would just sit on these empty containers for a while. But the demand for the container itself is part of what's driving all of this. And so rail yards are trying to get their containers off their trains, but they're being told, well, you got to have space to put empties on to go fill. And yeah, it's long story short, it is a clusterfuck. There's a ton of drivers out there that would love to be pulling containers out of ports. But in order to get into the port, you have to be bringing in an empty.
Red October is right. Next will be gas and the heating oil. I heat my house. If you ever watched the video with the outdoor furnace, and I'm all stocked up for the wood. Plus, I got a couple of properties I got clear, so I'll be good on the wood for next year as well. And we were just talking because during the Trump administration, I was at the point that it wasn't worth burning the wood. The heating oil was below $2, and it's just the amount of work I had to put into it. It just wasn't worth it. But watch it. Watch this winter when the freaking heating oil is gonna hit close to $4 again.
So it'd be wise right now if you got extra money, buy extra food and put it away.
Yeah, buy extra food, prepay your heating bill, lock in your prices. If you got some money, do it absolutely. I'm not a crazy prepper, but we always have at least 6-7 months worth of food in the house, plus the chickens and whatnot, which I'm not crazy about. But you know what? You got those eggs, you can trade those eggs. That's little by little.
We miss you, Scotsman. Wish you were here, buddy.
See you out there in the side chat.
Hey, do we need
a Scotsman sighting?
Do we need like a GoFundMe and buy Scotsman a new computer for Christmas? Because I'll pitch in.
Oh, he has a newer computer. That's part of the problem. He's
waiting on the warranty. He's waiting for the warranty work to get done on it.
Well, they gotta stop watching all that porn. That's usually no good for the computer.
Yeah, all that midget amputee porn, it takes a toll on your computer.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be like that, but that's funny. I don't care who you are.
Jamie, and I was just about to tell you to straighten them boys out.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of drivers that'll be just fine hauling heating oils, gasoline across the country. But the problem is gonna end up starting way before the refineries, I think.
They're running this stuff in on cargo ships, the oil now, and we've already got that big backup in all the ports.
Scotsman, it ain't just the midget porn, man. You left out the amputee. You get Willie all excited, man.
That's wrong on so many levels.
I know what it is.
I'm just wondering, maybe they got Scotsman's laptop confused with this Brandon guy's laptop.
Brandon's son?
Oh, yeah, Razor. Jeez, yes. Just the price of ground beef. That's absolutely going through the roof. The price of meat itself is already ridiculous. And I almost foresee in the next 2 years it's going to double.
Ground beef is a byproduct. I mean, it's not waste. I mean, it's very useful. But yeah, for ground beef to man. When I was a kid, way back then, Daniel will tell you. I mean, the grocery store would have sales on it. You could get ground beef for 19 cents a pound.
Hey, it might not be beef what I get, but deer meat tastes the same as long as you get all that fat off.
As long
But
as
this
you get
year-
one.
I got all kinds of deer on video. I just chose not to shoot none last year. No biggie.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you choose not to shoot it, you can eat it, unless
I
you're gonna have
still
unless
had
you're gonna
meat
have
in the
a-
freezer.
unless you're gonna have a virtual dinner.
No, I still got venison in the freezer. There was no reason for me to shoot a deer last year. I still got the venison in the freezer from the 3 from the year before. Yeah.
Yeah. How about them dogs, Big Al? What about them Sooners? How about them Aggies? All you Texas A&M fans, where y'all at? Come on, Josh Benware. Tell them about it, buddy.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't follow any sports whatsoever.
Yeah.
College
Yeah, I don't-
football.
Foosball. Foosball's the devil.
Well, we just only NFL what I watch is an occasional Falcons game. I find it difficult to stomach, particularly teams you don't know, and the way the Falcons are playing this year so far. It's that too.
No, I stopped watching hockey, everything. They pissed me off with all the BS they did. So I haven't watched anything in years.
I was shocked, Big Al. I really was. If I remember correctly, Arkansas beat both Texas and Texas A&M. Oklahoma beat Texas, and Texas A&M beat Alabama. So
Yeah, Red. There was actually a 6-month projected Battle of the Beards between me and the husband of Gunpowder, Tardot. He's got one magnificent beard himself, and he very well might beat me. But yeah, mine does grow pretty fast, and I tell you, everybody except my work loves it.
well, obviously, Josh, dang.
Yeah, recall on canned beef. That's pretty sketchy. That's something I'd worry about, because some of that I do keep some of like canned goods. They're not gonna last a ton of time, but they last a lot longer than anything else needs to last in my place.
Well, I need to call Big Al. Y'all obviously don't want to talk about football, but he keeps writing about it. Big Al, don't assume that Georgia's going to stay number 1 or OU is going to stay number 3. We still got lots of games left. Matter of fact, this coming up weekend, we play an undefeated Kentucky team that beat Florida. So I don't expect that to be a cakewalk. But then again, they're undefeated, but they ain't played us yet either. So we'll see what happens. Could be fun.
We had a guy on the squad today, and this guy basically blabbed his mouth bad before the election that he hates Trump. He's going to be voting for Biden. So we're like, we just ride his ass every time, and he wind up being on our squad. Oh my God, everybody gave him so much shit. I mean, in a good way. He knows he fucked up. Every time he would step to the line, the whole squad would go, "Let's go, Brandon."
So when it comes to projectiles, any of you guys ever use Everglades projectiles before?
I swear to God, they knock off extremes. I don't see any difference between them and extreme bullets. Nothing's wrong with them. They're good bullets. Just if you're looking for a budget, go with the coated bullets or plated. Coated usually gonna be a little cheaper. And if you want actual full metal jacket, then it's Jesus Christ, spacing out. Rocky RMR, Rocky Mountain Reloading, RMR jacket bullets. They have a good price, but right now I'm pretty sure they probably 6 months to a year backlog.
What's a good price for 1,000 of those bullets?
RMR, I'll tell you right now. Well, everything changed. Everything went up.
I picked up some Everglades. I don't even remember what I paid for them. They were boasting about these particular ones being very, very, very consistent. They've got second runs, but I wasn't interested in doing that from the get-go.
Well,
Let's see.
Make your own. You won't have to buy them from nobody.
Yeah.
9mm,
you-
147 grain, RMR full metal jacket, round nose. It's 10.5 cents a bullet when you buy 1,000 or more.
What, 105 bucks
Yeah, $105 for 1,000.
plus shipping? Okay, because I was looking it up. They got this one called called Restrikes or something. I've been buying it by the 1,000 at the store. 115 grain, 108 bucks. I buy the 124 when I buy them. That's 114 bucks for 1,000. I just mix them up with the cast bullets that I do. So I just don't want to use up all my lead.
When I
What,
bought-
Fuzzy? Are you trying to get put into timeout?
Who's talking
Fuzzy's
about
always
lockout?
trying to get put into timeout.
Fuzzy
Yeah.
better watch it. He's giving up that he's got good stashes.
What about like 223 boat tails there, Val?
Hang on, because I just switched. But 223, let's see what they got here.
Yeah.
62 grain Hornady is that's 580, 121 to 580. So $121 for 1,000. And if you go to just the basic 55 grain, let me see.
Man, you
2 to
guys
4,
are born as
55
shit.
grain, 60 actually more, 60 $60 for 1,000.
Full metal, that's a good price on those.
No, hang on, no, that's 500. So it's 108 for 1,000. So it's 10.8 cents for 1,000.
Ladies
I wanna
and
look up-
gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the chat the one, the only, the Battle Bean.
Hey.
Who let him in?
That would be Alan.
Oh man!
Hey,
Bean,
Battle
did
Bean,
you bring
just for you.
Popsicles with you?
Oh,
Howdy,
I
sir.
reckon. I reckon. You're looking good, brother.
How the hell you
think-
doing, Mario?
I'm doing good, man. How y'all doing? Look at man in the mirror over there, Daniel.
What's up,
Yeah,
Mario? And
he's
I was
real
gonna be,
dark
I was
now.
gonna be nice to you. I was gonna be
Yeah,
nice to you.
you're
tonight,
never
Mario.
nice to me, man. You are never nice to me. Hello,
Hey,
panel.
Mario.
Yes, sir.
Mario. I just
Yes.
converted another major Glock tard.
You did?
Oh
Who's
yeah, hardcore Glock tard. The deacon at the church.
Oh,
His
you
first
did
CZ.
it?
Oh yeah, after he shot mine, his first CZ is going to be a TSO. He's
Oh,
already
yeah,
he's
man.
already
Dude,
he's already got it coming in.
I just shot my SPO1 and I love that thing. I think it's beautiful.
Hey,
It
Alan,
feels so nice.
thousand bullets of coated Galan bullets, $81.
That's pretty good. 147s.
Yeah, but they sold out. Right, 10 to 12 weeks backlog.
Yeah, but they're gone now.
Now you buy them, you'll have them in 3 months.
Hey, Gunpowder Beauty.
She's gone. Oh, she must be in the side chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
had to go referee an MMA match.
Hell yeah.
Oh, the kid's going at it. Cool. So Mario, you can sit there, you can cast up, take about 2 or 3 days, cast up about 1,000 bullets, and then powder coat them. By the end of the week, you'll save $123.
Yeah, but you have
And
to look
it-
at it this way, Daniel. Not everybody's like you. They wakes up in the morning and has a day off. Some people work for a living.
Well, that's like that. Mario's just like that. Mario's just sitting at home too.
No, sir. I work now.
Oh, you went out. You're out there in the major workforce.
No, I'm working, brother. I'm freaking supervisor now. Supervising.
Yeah.
Hey, do it right, fuckers. El jefe.
Hey, I did that 10 years after I retired out of the Navy. I'd still be working,
his
but I just don't have a
finger's gonna
choice.
get wore out. He's gonna need like arthritis surgery in that pointer finger.
I know, man. The struggle is real. How are you, JH? How are you, sir?
Better not deserve. How you, brother?
Good, sir. Good, sir.
Been missing you, man. Where you been
Miss
at?
you too, brother. Miss you too. It's always good to see you guys, and of course, it's always good to see Mr. Professional Amateur over there with his hat. He's looking mighty awesome with that. I reckon
That's a good look on him, ain't it?
I like it. Actually, I do like it, but I would prefer just a straight white straw hat. It'll look a lot better.
Yeah, but then it's not a cowboy hat. Then I'll be like Amish guy.
No, I mean the straw hat is an all-purpose hat. If you really think about
I
it.
don't think he can get away with wearing white though.
A straw hat is a summertime hat. A beaver hat is for the winter.
Straw lets it breathe, so your head's not full of sweat.
Yeah. Well, that tells you how much I know about that subject.
So Daniel, you had a guest at your place a couple of weeks ago, a self-proclaimed Glock fan themselves.
Oh yeah, he was a hardcore Glock tard, and he brought his son down. And Scotsman and I, we shot his Glocks, and he shot our CZs. And the only complaints I heard the whole time was about how the Glocks just don't naturally aim, and you got to take a little bit more time to tilt the gun up.
Yeah, that's pretty much every Glock fan.
Yeah. Honestly, when I first shot my first CZ, I was just amazed that it felt so damn good in my hand. I was like, oh my god, this thing feels great.
Oh, and I haven't posted a video, but I have on video 9 Glock malfunctions in less than 5 minutes.
Must have been your ammo.
Nope. The factory ammo. And it was factory store-bought ammo, and he brought it. And the best part is, it was 3 different shooters shooting the same Glock, and 9 malfunctions in less than 5 minutes.
I can't speak for other Glock owners, but I can tell you because Gen 3s are all we can have in California. I've never had a problem with my Gen 3, bro. And I mean, so many people some people just all they want is the Gen 3s. They don't want none of that Gen 4 or Gen 5 stuff. They just want to stick to what they know. So Gen 3s are always good. They always work.
Yeah, they're all the same.
I got a
Now
Gen
that,
5.
now that we got a California resident in the panel, I'd like to ask you a question. They just recently announced that the LAPD's new pistol is an FN. I don't think it's 509, but it might be. I don't recall the exact model number. But apparently, it's an FN that you, as a civilian of a civilian resident of California, are not allowed to have. But the police are. That's their new assigned pistol.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we can have in the state of California that's only what they call Leo approved, law enforcement approved. Yeah, they can buy pretty much anything they want. But that's old news, buddy. They've been doing that for years. So it's nothing new. It's kind of interesting that LAPD went to FN. But it doesn't surprise me either, because they do have a lot of contracts with a lot of police agencies all around the world. So I don't think that's a bad move, but in most cases, because I know a lot of friends of mine that are LAPD, majority of them carry their own gun. They don't like any of the stuff that the department provides, because for the longest, all they were doing is give them Glocks, and a lot of these guys don't like Glocks. So, good friend of mine would carry his 1911 with him, and he was notorious for carrying that thing. And another buddy of mine had a tendency of carrying his M&P all the time. So it was just the department, because so many people didn't like what they were producing for them or providing for them. They decided to just like, hey, you guys can have whatever you want. But FN seems like a good call by LAPD, to be honest with you.
That's actually pretty good that they can carry whatever they want, because over here, whatever the department says, that's what they gotta carry. Like most of the NYPD, I believe they carry G19. That's why with like 8-pound triggers, they can't hit a damn thing.
Damn.
Yeah, the thing that kind of just blows me out of the water about that whole thing, I get it. Law enforcement agencies are allowed to have weapons that civilians can't across the nation. And the thing that really bugs the shit out of me about it is the California registry is supposed to be based on the safety of the gun. It's got to meet all these particular criteria in order to be able to be put onto the registry. And so there's nothing about this particular handgun that shouldn't be, that's a violation of the register. It just happens to be one that they're not putting on the register.
Yeah, one thing you need to understand is that for law enforcement, they pretty much can do whatever they want, and it's pretty sad that happens. But it's one of the things that happens living here, to be honest with you. I know I have a lot of my friends that are cops, a lot of them. I mean, I think I have friends of mine in pretty much at least 15 departments that I know of, and every one of them feels the same way. It feels like, hey, you know what? If you have law-abiding citizens, they should be able to carry whatever they want. But everything's all about politics here, man. It really is. It's not about gun safety. It's not about anything else. It's just about restricting people. It's all it is. It's always been that way. It's going to continue to be that way. And it doesn't matter if we have people like Judge Benitez, who are all about trying to save the Second Amendment in California, some way, somehow, because we're living in the area of the Ninth District Court. There's always going to be some way, some sort of waiver or something, some sort of extension given. So it is what it is. But it's just part of living here. It's the way I look at it.
May I say that such practices are a violation of the spirit of the Second Amendment. the Second Amendment was put there to ensure that the citizens have the same type of weaponry that the state does, and that's my feelings on that.
The
It's
founding the founding fathers wrote the Second Amendment, and they stated it out there in the federal letters and stuff. It is there to keep the government in fear of the people, so the government serves the people and does not rule over the people.
Well, unfortunately, we're starting to see that it's not just happening in the States. It seems to me like the country's trying to go that same route. And I think that's the reason why they're trying to oppress the Second Amendment so much, to the point that they want to make it go away. But it's just like we got these geniuses that all of a sudden have a problem with our flag and want to change it. Well, guess what? You want to start doing that and upset every patriot and every person who's ever served for that flag. Yeah, you're asking a little too much. You're poking the bear way too much, man. And it's just gonna bite him in the ass, man. It's just the way I look at it. It's bound to happen, bro. I'm telling you. I'm just letting it happen because these guys are just trying to provoke it even more and more. And I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be January 6th all over the country, bro. I'm telling you.
And you got the president on down in a certain political parties that are calling parents terrorists and threatening them when they're speaking out. They're exercising their First Amendment right in their local school board meeting.
Yeah, and but I'm also seeing a lot of pushback from people because, I mean, I don't want to get too much into the political thing because I don't want to alter my blood pressure. But I think there's a lot of people that are pushing back. A lot of people are just fed up with this whole situation. And I think it's getting to a turning point that, hopefully in the near future, when everybody gets a chance to vote again, that and during the midterms, that we see a drastic change in the country, especially as things are going. I don't know, man. At this point, I just I keep my magazines loaded, bro. And if something goes down, I'm down for it. So I could say I'm tired of talking because I feel like I'm talking to the wall, and I'm tired of saying what I need to say. I think all of us have said enough what we need to say. I think just to the point that I'm tired of talking. If it gets down to us needing to put some action into it, I think it's going to happen. So I'm at a point now that
the 2022 election, if there's shenanigans happens again, I think it'll be game on.
Yeah. I think it might be before that, bro. I'm telling you, I'm just thinking of something that's going to happen that's going to trigger something. I'm telling you, kind of like what was that incident that happened in Charlottesville where that guy ran over a bunch of freaking protesters or whatever the hell it was? I'm just thinking of something like stupid like that that's going to trigger something. I just see it. And in reality, I think the one thing that the left really wants to do is they want to make it a race war. That's their end game. And unfortunately, they're trying to use black people for it. But we'll see what happens, bro.
And it's sadly it's working. Has anybody heard these reports now that are coming out of Austin, Texas? If you're not directly in a life-threatening situation, don't call 911. Call 311.
Yeah, because they already defunded most of their freaking police over there. They were like one of the first major cities to do that. And
So
now
what's
they're thinking
311?
about. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to go with social workers and a bunch of like public, some sort of defender, kind of like freaking guardian angels or whatever the hell they're called. Austin is really cuckoo, man. Like, and it's kind of sad that this is happening in the state of Texas, out of all places. But the state of Texas, I mean, not the state of Texas, but the city of Austin is just, it's run by a bunch of freaking morons over there. They got some serious leftist fuckers over there, and they are just coming out of the woodwork with a lot of this stuff. If you're a cop in Austin, Texas, man, you might as well just quit and go and become a Texas public safety police officer or something else, man. It's just I feel sorry for the people that live in Austin because I really don't feel that everybody is buying into this nonsense. And it's one of those countries that's gonna. I mean, it's one of those cities that's gonna end up being like Portland, where they had that unrest for so many damn months and stuff. It's gonna get crazy, and that's what they're doing, man. The same thing that's happening in Portland is the same thing that's gonna happen in a lot of these major cities who all of a sudden want to defund their police or take their funding away.
So what's 311? It's like a social services or something.
Yeah, basically it's a non-emergency number, so
Oh,
this
okay.
is not gonna clog up the 911 system.
Because over here we call 811.
Right. Some people use 811. Some
No.
places they call-
811. You call before you dig a hole.
Right. Yeah, 811. That's right. That's the same thing here. Yeah, it's just dumb, bro. I'm telling you, it's just dumb. It's idiotic. These people. It seems to me like these people that come up with this kind of stuff have no sense of what law enforcement really does. Have no idea how the criminal justice system works. Yeah, they're just morons, man.
Big Al's got a nice comment there when he talks about the Constitution, and I actually had a chat with my daughter today because I was watching a video of basically the guy that gets pulled over and he refuses the search of the car and all that, and he had a sound with him and the sound wouldn't give up the ID because he didn't do anything. So I was trying to explain her that you have a certain rights and all that. So basically, what they're teaching them in school is that the way the Constitution was written, the wording is loose, so it can be adapted to times. And I'm like, that's bullshit. There's only a certain way you can explain certain things. The First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment. It's just how do you explain it any other way? And they're pushing that crap on the kids.
There's a saying, don't pitch your tents by Sodom. There's a reason for that. You live in an area like that, you're going to have problems. So it's better to get out of that situation. And right now is the best time if people are thinking about moving because there are jobs available all over the country. And if you own a home, you can get top dollar. So if you go out and you buy a new house, it's going to equal out for the sale of your other house. If you're renting, okay, well, you're still going to be renting when you go somewhere, and the rent's probably going to be a lot less than those liberal states and cities.
Yep.
I know the houses definitely cost less, the land costs less, and the taxes are way lower.
Let me share with y'all something here for a minute. We always get emails from Gun Owners of America wanting us to sign the petition and click this link to send it to your senators and all that. Well, I did that not long ago, and I actually got a letter back from Raphael Warnock. John Ossoff, I knew I wouldn't get nothing from that piece of crap, but basically he sent me a letter back, said, while I am concerned with your Second Amendment rights and seek to protect them at all costs, we still have to come together and find a reasonable cure for gun violence in the streets of America. And I'm like, basically, you're blowing smoke up my butt to say that you're not going to do what I ask you to do. Okay, second point. This past week, there was an incident at a school, and I think it was in the metro Atlanta area. It was definitely on the Atlanta news, where there was a quote-unquote school shooting, okay? That gets the headlines, because that's a shocker, What happened was there was a big kid that had been beating on a little kid for all of last school year and all the way up until this incident happened this last week. Somebody actually made a recording of this bigger kid absolutely pummeling this kid. The little small kid couldn't take care of himself against a guy that big. Look, man, the bigger guy was a foot and a half taller than him, about a half a foot wider than him, must have outweighed him by at least 50 pounds, if not 80 pounds. And he was just beating this kid unmercifully in a classroom, and nobody was doing anything to stop it. Teacher wasn't in the class. I mean, he beat him unmercifully for at least a minute and a half on tape. Well, the kid takes his dad's pistol to school with him the next day. And when this crap started again, he shot the guy. Now look, if let's say Val's beating me like that on the streets of Atlanta, and I can get to my gun, pull my gun, and shoot him, man, that's justifiable, you know.
No, it's not. I'm from New York.
Where I'm from, that's stand your ground. Disparity of force.
That is, I feared for my life and I used my firearm. That's all you say, guys, till the lawyers get there. Your lawyer gets there. And yeah, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But still, man, to me, this kid was totally justified in what he did. His parents came on the news and showed that clip. And yeah, we need to do something about gun violence, but it ain't take away guns, because when that happens, only the outlaws are going to have guns. If you have guns, then instantly you're an outlaw. They ain't none of us outlaws. We're God-fearing, red-blooded American male human beings that pay our taxes and go to work every day, and we have a right to defend our life, our liberty, and our families.
But you see, how is justifiable in Georgia may not be justifiable in other parts of the country, and it's pretty sad that you know it is the way it is.
Well, that's an obscenity, Mario.
I agree with you, sir. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to give you the other narrative of this stuff. And the problem,
I understand what you're saying, and I get it, man. I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an abomination that's going on in this country that's got to be stopped. And again, that goes back to what you were saying earlier. We're all tired of it, and if some crap goes down, then yeah, time for talking may be over.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, we also need to stop and think about all the new gun owners that have been purchasing guns during this whole fiasco. It's not just us, you know, it's new gun owners. It's people that have never shot a gun. I have a good friend of mine who is a manager at the range that I go to, and he's telling me how you have all these crazy individuals who pay ridiculous amount of money for ammunition, and they go over there and they have no training. So he's like, look, man, you need some training in order for you to be effective at what you're doing. So it's pretty crazy, but you know, he also gets to talk to them and just kind of pick their brain, you know, and ask them, what made you purchase a gun? And they're like, well, you know, if they defund the police and if something happens to me, I need to take justice into my own hands. I'm not going to wait for somebody to show up, you know?
Yeah, but that guy probably voted for Biden.
Yeah.
Probably.
Right
Likely so. It's just like just yesterday, I'm going through all these different stores in town, and that same box of 9mm white box Winchester, I shit you not, I had 3 couples that walked by and said, "Oh, well, that's not a bad price." And I'm thinking to myself, you guys must be new gun owners.
Mario, turn your ringer off.
That's not me, fool.
No, it was my mom calling.
See, why you blaming me, man?
Well, I'm sorry, man. I'm profiling. You know, it was Val that had the Cucarachi music
That's
going.
the problem we have in our country. That's
Yeah,
right there.
Native
Mr.
Americans profiling all you foreigners.
Mr. Alfred Hitchcock over there.
I have these customers, right? This couple, and they're liberal as could be. Husband's a little less. He's a Democrat, but he's a little less. He's a Vietnam vet, so me and him, we can have a discussion. We can talk about Trump. We can talk about Biden. His wife, forget it. That's like there's no talking to her. But he's like, even I go like, so what's going on in the White House? And he goes, well, the Joe Biden's probably taking fifth nap today, so even he's making fun of him, and he voted for him. So the other day, he shooed the wife away, and he comes over to me, and I'm talking Democrats, no guns, no nothing, and he comes over, hey Val, Mossberg or Remington? I'm like, get a Mossberg 500. So then he's talking about getting classes and all that. I was like, you have plenty of room in the backyard. It's all legal and all that. Just give me a call. I'll come over. I'll run you through it. Not a problem. And this is a guy in his 70s. All of a sudden he worried about stuff like that.
See, man, regardless if they're Democrat or not, they're still concerned about their safety, man. And regardless of how bad Trump was, I don't think a lot of people ever worried about their damn safety when it comes to having a Republican president. I don't know. It's just me.
The criminals' rights are all protected, and the law-abiding citizen has to be afraid of going to jail because they're forced to protect their own lives, homes, and the police are getting defunded, not around. And they want to take the guns away from law-abiding citizens. But the criminals, their rights are protected. And they're emptying the jails out because, it's just cruel and unusual to keep them in jail with a COVID outbreak.
We got so many.
I want to answer a comment that Thorzak just said. In reality, it doesn't set well with me because what he's saying is that, the way it is because people like me say what I say. Honestly, Thorzak, you live in Washington. You live in a liberal country just like I do. You know damn well these people outnumber us in these states. And I know what I can fight and I can't fight. And I know what I can handle and I can't handle. So I don't always agree with what you're saying. But here's my thing. What have you done to make things better where you're at? Because I know what I've done. But, to a certain point, there's only so much you can do when you only have so much you can ammo and people that are like-minded like you. I have a tendency of, I think people, before they make comments like that, we need to understand a little bit more about the background of where we're at and what we got going on. Not here to get in a debate with Thorzak, but that kind of mentality, it doesn't go well with me because I honestly don't think that us in the same community should be fighting towards each other. Here's my thing, man. The way I look at it is, we need to be part of the problem, we need to be part of the solution, not the problem. That's the way I look at it. There are certain things that I don't agree with. Absolutely, I don't. But, I always have a tendency of understanding how things really work, and I know that you're in the same situation as I am.
Well, you know what? We're not going to kick Thorzak or people like him off of this because we uphold the First Amendment and we believe it, and we're not going to chew him out.
Here's my thing. We can agree to disagree, but regardless, I know that me and Thor are going to be friends. That's the big difference between us and the rest of the country. That's what I'm saying. But sometimes, I do tend to, get a little upset when comments are made that way because in reality, if you're in the same situation as I am, who the hell are you to tell me what I should be doing when you're in the same situation as I am? That's all I'm saying.
Okay, raise your hand if you were in the DC on a certain day last year. Okay, so here's the thing. That was awesome feeling. I mean, if you were ever in the DC, basically in front of the White House, there's a park. That's where they had the speaking and all that. And from there all the way to Washington Monument, as far as you could see, it was nothing but mega heads and American flags. I mean, over 1 million people easy. So it was just awesome crowd. The energy and everything in there, it was ridiculous. Now, whatever it turned out to be, That's a different story. Everybody with a half a brain stayed away from it because they knew it's a setup. But here's the thing: only way, and mark my words, the only way something ever actually changes in this country, if that day repeats itself, and those people will be armed. That's the only way. Because if there's a couple 100,000 people armed marching on the DC, whether they have fences and National Guards and whatnot, it doesn't matter. It just you need to show overwhelming force, show the government that they work for us. And unfortunately, we're at the point that this is the only way this can happen. I lived through it when I was 16 in Czechoslovakia. Not with the arms. It was peaceful protest. They used to call it the Velvet Revolution, because no shots got fired. But it started with the basically students going out in the street in Prague and the cops beating the shit out of them. And that just turned into in a chain reaction. This is way before the internet and the Facebook and all the other crap. So unfortunately, that's like Mario said, that he's got magazines loaded and he's waiting what's going to happen. And I got a bad feeling that at some point something like this will have to happen in order for this country to get back on the track. Or screw it, we are lost. We are lost, and because people don't understand that this is the last country in the world that you actually get to experiment the freedom like this. Yes, you have to get a background check for the guns. You have to get ADF form for the silencer, but in order for you to when Joe Biden goes by, yell at him, F Joe Biden to his face, and the Secret Service can't say anything, do anything, and all the other freedoms we enjoy in this country. This is the last country. And if you still don't believe there's a great force in the world that controls what's going on in the world, then you're dreaming. And that force trying to shut this country down and get them on board with the rest of the world. If you think about it historically, every single country in the world, had a king, queen, whatever. So all of them were peasants. Australia, New Zealand, there was a prison colony for the UK. U.S. as itself was the only country where a bunch of rednecks and adventure-seeking people and freedom-loving people just decided enough's enough. We're gonna start our own country. We're gonna come over here, and they did it. It's the only country, not Canada, not Mexico, not anything else. This is the only country when you have it.
And it's a valid point you bring, Val. I could, I think when you come from another country, we like to talk a lot of smack between us, whatever the case may be, but you stop and think about it. We came from other countries and we came with nothing. And to me, like the greatest day in my life, other than my kids and being married, was, being an American citizen, because I had to work my ass off to get that. You know what I'm saying? And most other people never had that. And then, for a lot of people that come from other countries, and also those that have a tendency of, serving and going to other countries and experiencing the oppression that other people have to deal with, can tell you we got it really fucking good here, man. We really do. And people really need to stop and think about that stuff. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. This is the kind of stuff I saw in Iraq. I actually had to interrogate a lot of these people. You know what I'm saying? And there was one I interrogated. To this day, I'll never forget this shit. I tell him, "Why are you here? Why are you here to, because we found a passport from Jordan on him." And I asked him I asked him clearly in Spanish. I mean, not Spanish. I mean, in English. I told him, why did you, why are you here? Why are you coming and fighting us? And he's like, I want to kill Americans. And he looked me dead in the eye with that look like, pure evil, bro. Honest with you, man. It's that kind of stuff that people have no idea what they've been through. I'll be honest with you. People are really going to change their mind when you start seeing suicide vest people to start blowing the shit out of each other in some plazas or something like that. They haven't seen that shit here, man. You know, they see it in the TV and they're like, oh man, that's horrible. It's too bad that those people have it like that. Oh, let's just send them some money. That'll cure the shit. It's not, man. I'm telling you, that stuff is here now. So it's better we start dealing with this shit now.
So, Jamie, I am very curious, sir. What is it that you're working on that takes so much oomph on that press?
Yeah, I was gonna ask because he's beating on it like on his girlfriend.
I'm sorry, I thought I was muted. I'm just sizing some bullets and putting gas checks on.
Ah, they'll do it.
Can y'all see that? There you go. All right,
I'm
so
gonna tell y'all something too, man. Bringing all these damn refugees into this country ain't gonna be the greatest thing in the world. Especially all these people from Afghanistan who we don't have any idea what their background is. Guess what? You think 9/11 was bad? Think about all these guys that are gonna be in our country and they're gonna collaborate with people in other countries.
Oh,
And
that's not all. That's not all. You know what's worse? This is the
Yeah.
worst part. They're gonna put all these motherfuckers in the same district, like they did in Minnesota. And 5 years from now, every one of them is gonna be fucking citizen because these people not gonna have to wait for the green cards. They're gonna hand them the fucking green cards right away. So 4 or 5 years from now, they're fucking citizens and they're gonna vote. That's how we wind up with the two fucking Muslim American hating fucking congresswoman in the goddamn Congress because Obama stuck a bunch of freaking Muslims in a certain district in Minnesota. That's exactly the plan. That's what they're gonna do. And shit like that just grinds my gears. People just don't appreciate the country.
So where are they thinking of placing these people at, in Minnesota or Wisconsin?
Who the hell knows? They put them somewhere. You know, there's stuff going on. There's stuff going on all over New York as well. I was talking about it. My wife works for a school. We have high school kids out of the blue. This school year, they showed up. High school kids. They don't speak a lick of English, and they can't read or write in Spanish. So these kids were never in a school. This is the first time they were in school. Where the fuck did they come from? For one, how did they get here? Somebody had to pay for it. Somebody had to find them a housing. Somebody had to sign them up for school, sign them up for a school bus. If they don't speak English, there's no fucking way they did it themselves.
You wonder how the hell did all these Haitian refugees get to the southern border? Last time I checked, Haiti's in a freaking Caribbean island. So how the hell did they go from Haiti all the way to Mexico?
They swim.
Dude, there's no way. There's no way. That's not.
They all put on red glistening slippers.
That is not 90 miles from Cuba to Florida, bro. We're talking at least 200-300 miles just to get to Mexico from Haiti. That, you know, it just, there's too much stuff that's going on like this that makes me wonder. And I don't know if I'm just paranoid, you know, whatever the case may be, but you know, it just makes you wonder, like, where the hell these Haitian refugees come from? And in the droves too. It's not like a little bit, it's like hundreds of these people.
Never mind the Haitians. So what about people from Honduras or whatever? What they just decided one day?
And then not only that, a lot of these people are all MS-13, 18th Street gang members. You know, a lot of these people collaborate with the cartels. So if you recall, like 5 or 6 years ago, Phoenix was was the kidnap capital of the world, and that's because the cartel was taking over Phoenix. What's going to end up happening when they start taking over like states like California and Texas and New Mexico and Arizona? You know, people don't stop and think about that stuff. You know, and I think maybe I think the biggest problem that most Americans have is that we have a big heart. We want to help everybody out. But I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Not everybody deserves to be helped. I'm being straight with you. And I understand that that's probably not the given way of how Americans should be. But I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of these people are threats to our way of society. And if you're not looking at it in that way, then you might be, you know, I told you so, it might be a little too late for you.
Yeah, it's just unrealistic to think that they're not.
Yeah, but listen, if something like that happened to California and New York, we just build a big wall around California and New York, and we let the Snake Plissken go in and take care of it. You guys didn't catch the reference. Snake
That sounds great to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We
Say that
we
again.
can have him followed
Snake.
with cameras and make movies of it too.
Yeah, Snake Plissken. You never saw the movie Escape from New York? Kurt Russell. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
No, we just go that fault line there in
Sorry, I didn't get
California. we take that fault line in California, put a whole bunch of smokeless powder, and just blow it off.
Yeah, well, they're just gonna
Man, why
burn.
don't you go sit
They're
down
just
in
gonna
your
burn
rocking
it. They
chair?
already have fires in California, so we gotta put the black powder.
Didn't they just have a bunch of riots in Los Angeles again? Something recently happened again.
No, you you
there was
definitely
some
not
kind of
reading the
violence.
right, huh?
It was it was last week or the week before. Something was going on in Los Angeles again.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in LA, bro. I don't even care about it. I don't even watch the news, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, bro.
I don't watch the news either. I just pick it up online. If I watch the news, oh man, there's a reason why I turned the cable off and everything. It just makes me sick, all the propaganda their media's putting out.
It's really sad that we live in this time. And you know what? I grew up in exactly the same stuff. It just brings the memories because I grew up in it. I grew up in the communist propaganda. I remember when I was about 10 years old, and basically I had a family in the U.S. already. My grandma's sister left the country beginning of the century, and my mom's uncle is somewhere here as well. Anyway, so we got a letter from U.S. from one of the family members, and the whole letter was written like anti-communist and all that. And both my parents were teachers, so when my father read that letter and it was written in like a broken down Slovak, he like he didn't know what it is, some kind of propaganda or what. So as a good boy, he just went to police and handed over. It was like, oh, I don't have nothing to do with that. It's not me.
Yeah, I mean, I was just a little kid when the LA riots happened. As a matter of fact, I was about 2 blocks away from the epicenter of that, and it was horrible, man. I'll be honest with you, man. If you did not have a gun and you were a homeowner, you probably would have gone ransacked. Because after the 3rd or 4th day, after they looted every business that you can think of, the next thing that they were starting to do was start ransacking houses. And if it wasn't for the National Guard that showed up when they did, it would have gone that bad. And that's why I keep telling you guys, man, I'm telling you, history has a tendency to repeat itself. Same thing with the way the U.S. handles wars. We do the same stupid shit over and over and over.
All right, I got to address a couple of things y'all said. Professional Amateur said that a bunch of freedom-loving people moved to the United States, North America, and started this country. Yeah, they did. And then you said that New Zealand and Australia was their penal colony. Well, those people that came over here and started the United States, they had a penal colony too. And it was called the state of Georgia, which I live in now. So that explains a lot, right?
Oh yeah, that explains a lot.
And Mario said, I don't know if I might be paranoid or what. Let me tell you something, bro. Just because you're paranoid don't mean they're not really out to get you.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean you're wrong.
Right.
You know, maybe it's all those years of situational awareness, and that stuff never really goes away, man. So, I mean, honestly, I just think the worst of what our government is doing nowadays, man. It's not, it's not like it was back in the day. It just, I mean, the government's so huge now that there's so many departments of anything. It's like everybody seems to be tracking every type of information we all use or we purchase. It's ridiculous. It's really crazy, man.
Well,
Another,
yeah, you've got countries like Japan and China that are completely banning any kind of cryptocurrencies. And why? Because they're getting ready to start pushing more and more and more towards a uniform digital currency. Why would they do this? So that they know everything about you. They know everything that you buy. So, any kind of privacy right out the window.
Stop and think about it. Why do all these kids, even though the government's already said that there's a possibility that China is gathering all this information on everybody who uses TikTok, but yet people still continue to use that thing relentless, man. And I'm like, the government's telling you guys something for a reason. Like, if anything, I don't know why this app is still being used in the United States. I think that if there's anything that says to me that they're spying on people, that thing should be banned, period.
Well, I fully agree. And another one of the things about things like TikTok is it is making America's youth dumber. It is taking their attention spans and shrinking it and shrinking it and shrinking it. So that they'll spend hours and hours and hours scrolling through 10-second videos. And it's just programming the mind to where they have no attention span at all.
They're making adult children.
Yeah,
what they're doing. You take a look at throughout history. Before, people here in America were getting married in their early, mid-teens, and then later it's 18, and now 26 is the new 18, and a lot of people aren't starting families until they're 28. But when people are spoiled, they stay children. When people have it hard, they turn into adults faster. And what they're doing is they're just making a whole generation of children that are wimps, and they're not going to be able to stand up against all the stuff that's going on. America is just being set up for a total failure.
The latest thing, y'all, is Taiwan. Keep your eyes on Taiwan, what's going on between America and China over Taiwan. That's going to be the next major thing.
And this administration will fold like France on that. They'll go, yep, okay, it's not our problem.
Yeah. But legally, in the world court, we are responsible for defending Taiwan. How does that happen?
Well, technically, isn't also Taiwan also wasn't it part of the Brits just like Hong Kong was? Or were they completely separate entity?
It was Chinese property, but it's an island, and I think they declared their independence back some time ago. And I don't remember when. Probably the 50s.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's getting pretty crazy. But actually, I know for a fact that we do provide a lot of weapons to Taiwan because, matter of fact, I remember we did a bunch of M4s or M16s back then, and we were getting them all prepped up and inspected, and then they were going to go into the armor, and all those were going to go to Taiwan. So interesting stuff. Yeah, but in reality, man, it's just a lot of stuff that's going on right now that just makes you shake your head. And all right, Big Al, much love, brother. Take care of yourself.
Around here, we got a lot of military is a lot of people's family traditions, and a big number of the young men that graduate high school are go into the service, along with a lot of gals. But many of them are ended up getting out this year, and some of them before their enlistment date because they're refusing the hokey pokey and they're tired of all this here critical race theory stuff where they're being called racist and everything like that. The military is losing a lot of quality people, and the people are staying in the military right now, or you're starting to see the pendulum swing to very weak-minded people. Not all of them, but you're seeing that pendulum move over. I'm seeing it here at home with the folks that are coming home right now and hearing from them. They're totally sick of it.
You know, and this kind of stuff, it kind of leads to, you know, and I hate to get on the extreme here. I know I kind of talked about this before, but it kind of leads to a lot of military folks becoming Timothy McVeighs, man. It really does. And it's starting to get to that point where, you know, you see a lot of these guys, and I even recall this when I was in the military, you know, guys were actually getting their own groups and setting up their own stuff because kind of like their own gangs, because there's certain things that they didn't like that the government was doing, you know.
Well, you see it right now in the bureaucracy of D.C. They're pushing to start labeling veterans as mentally unstable to disqualify us from having firearms. And you also see it at a lot of VA facilities when they're wanting you go in there and talk to a psychologist. That's something every veteran needs to watch out for. You get that label on you, mentally unstable. Whatever tools they use.
Highly unstable. Guess what? You made that. You created that. How is it all of a sudden I'm a threat? That's the stupidest shit in the world. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but
I mean, the government, it's coming out of DC. Everyone that's got PTSD issues, they're pushing to ban them from owning firearms.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that is a fact. And one of the arguments is like all these people have been trained in all these weapons of war. They're a really major threat to the government and people of the United States.
So stop and think about it. How many of these trained veterans that you're talking about have done any mass shootings? How many of these, you know, trained vets have done anything to society in general?
Well,
read the
when was
book
it-
Short
when was
Timers
it,
or
in the
watch the movie
90s?
Full Metal Jacket. You had two Marines. One of them shot Kennedy, and the other one was in a tower down there in Texas.
But we're talking
There
about
was
a small.
what was
small
it in the
percentage.
90s? A guy took roped in another kid, and they got into a car and they were shooting out of the trunk at just anybody they wanted to shoot at.
Yeah, that was the DC sniper. I was there. My sister had my parents convinced that I was the DC sniper. No joke on that. And the people at my work were starting to look at me because every time there was a shooting, I was away from the command at that time doing something.
Sucks
But
to be
I
white.
wasn't. Yeah, especially in DC, because the prejudice foot's on the other. The shoe is on the other foot.
Well, they eventually caught them, and it was like a man and his son, or a man and his grandson, something like
I think
that.
it was a guy, a kid, and his uncle.
Yeah, there was actually no relation. He was like a neighborhood kid. He was like a kid that lived next door.
Wow.
But this guy supposedly took him under the wing, and he was trusted by the parent. And eventually the kid just ran with him.
So, Alan B. Pro, when we first started this, didn't you say that we weren't going 2 hours tonight?
Right. Which is why I was just about to call for closing. I was going to say closing arguments. But no. Yeah, it just kept rolling. So, anywho, I will start in a completely inappropriate fashion and pick that guy. Daniel, God is my judge. Close us up.
Well, and here I am sitting on the porch, completely unloaded because everything's up in my bedroom loaded right now. I want you all to go out there, take a look at your life, take a look at yourself first, and go out there and be the man or be the woman that you need to be to set the example in your own home, and then just next go out to your neighbor and get to know them and help and be good neighbors, and just make it grow from there and get into the community. Start networking with people. If you got some extra money laying around, put some extra food away, because we're already seeing shipping problems and shortages all over every market, whether it's a refrigerator, a mattress, and you're seeing smaller portions of food in the stores. This stuff isn't going away for quite a while. But if you haven't thought about Christ, talk to somebody about it. It can help you get yourself straight first, and then it can really help you run your own house. And that's all I got. Thanks for having me on the show, Alan.
Oh, thank you, Daniel. Thank you. The professional amateur, what you got coming up, man?
Yeehaw! Not a whole lot. I'm just gonna join Daniel over there. I'm gonna say, be a good person, be a good neighbor, be a good Christian, help yourself, and God will help you. That's all.
Excellent, phenomenal. JH586, what you got, sir?
I did videos, guys. I actually did a couple of videos. I got one up already, and I got two more in the queue waiting to release them. So I hope y'all go check them out. And check us out Friday nights, 8 o'clock on the Georgia Shooting Connection channel. We do a live stream about basically reloading, shooting, hunting, all that fun stuff. So thanks for having me, Alan. I appreciate it. Guys, I appreciate y'all putting up with me, and I thank you for spending your Sunday evenings with us. Thank you very much.
Awesome sauce. Mario, what you got coming up, sir?
Hey guys, we talked a lot about, different topics, different stuff that I think a lot of us have concerns about. Everybody's made really good closing comments. My closing comment is be part of the solution and not the problem. We have too many people out there that love to point the finger, but not many people that want to solve anything. So that's all I'm saying, guys. Wish you guys a great night and a great productive week this week. And that's pretty much all I got.
Absolutely phenomenal. Great advice from this panel. The shy chat's been excellent. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Next week we should have the Scotsman back, so it should be full foreign and domestic next week. So look forward to that. We'll hope. But other than that, this one's a little difficult with me running the show. With that, just keep the magazines loaded and one in the chamber